Did you know that there are 3 different ways you can mix colors in watercolor? What's up, guys? My name is Emily. My goal is to teach watercolor techniques that you can use on your own paintings to create works of art that you just love. So today let's talk about the 3 ways to mix colors in watercolor. The first one is simply mixing in your palette. Mixing your colors directly onto your palette before applying them to your painting is definitely the most straightforward way to mix your colors, and probably the most intuitive too. So for example, when you want to make a green, you can mix a yellow and a blue. It's really a good idea to start with the less dominant color. So in the case of blue and yellow, start with your yellow. So all you have to do is grab some yellow from your palette, swirl it around, and then you can take your more dominant color and gradually sneak in just a little of it. So just taking the tip of your brush and sneaking in a little, you can see how quickly the blue can overwhelm the yellow if you introduce too much too soon. And suddenly you have a very dark green. So if you start with more yellow and mix in just a little bit of blue at a time, then you can mix a beautiful green and sneak your way up to the mix that you want. So here is the color directly mixed on my palette. I'm going to add in a little bit more water and I'll show you guys a flat wash. Mixing directly in your palette is so useful for achieving flat colors and for painting things like skies and objects that just need to be a single color. The second way that you can mix watercolors is directly on your paper. This is my favorite way to mix, painting colors side by side or within each other on a wet surface. To do this technique, you're going to use wet and wet. So you'll start with water, preferably clean water. Let's take the clean water jar, shall we? And you'll apply that to your paper. Now within your wet shape that you just laid down, you can drop in your separate colors. We'll start with the less dominant color again. Start with our yellow. And then let's dip directly in the blue. I'm using phthalo blue here. And just drop it in right next to or inside of your yellow. The wonderful thing about this way of mixing is that you get a variety of colors within it. This method is so useful for painting soft fur or cloudy skies, sunsets, and things like that. Anywhere where you want to have a combination of colors within the same shape, softly blended. The third technique for mixing your colors is called glazing. This technique is done wet on dry. What that means is you start with one color, let it dry all the way, and then paint another color over the top of your bone dry paint. So let's start with our yellow again. Just doing a flat wash on the dry paper. Let that dry all the way. Double check to make sure that your surface is bone dry before applying a glazed layer over the top. And then take your second color, let's take our phthalo blue again, and paint it directly over the top. You can see that by painting a transparent color over the top of another color, it creates a new color. Of course, when you apply blue over the top of yellow, you get green. So those are the 3 different ways you can create mixes in watercolor. All 3 are so useful within even a single painting. This technique, you can see, is super useful if you want to really take advantage of watercolor's transparency. I use all 3 of these techniques constantly in almost every single painting I do, so give these a whirl. If you want to learn more about beginning watercolor techniques like these, download my free watercolor ebook. It's called the Watercolor Jumpstart Guide. It's totally free. You get it sent directly to your email inbox. Thanks for watching today. Check out these other videos just for beginners, and I'll see you guys there.